Guys, welcome back. How are you doing? How are you flowing? How are you going? How is everything happening? Are you ready to get into some subtractive synthesis with the top Ableton synths that do the subtractive synthesis? Pause the video or don't. See if you off the top of your head know what the subtractive synthesizers are. Go to instruments. If you said analog, you would be correct. Collision? Not correct. Collision is a physical modeling synthesizer. Drift? That's the other subtractive synthesizer. Drum rack? Oh, behave, come on. Drum synth, okay, come on, let's get. Electric is also a physical modeling synthesizer set to physically model a electric piano. Emit, now that's like a future sampler device. External instrument, I'll be honest, we're not even gonna go there. Impulse is basically a drum rack, instrument rack, you already know what that is. Operator, it can do subtractive synthesis. And we'll actually start there because I want to talk about the harmonics. I want you to see what the harmonics are doing, because all these synthesis methods is how does it handle harmonics over time. And with subtractive synthesizer, it's with the filter. You start off with a very bright sound, bright meaning lots of harmonics in addition to the fundamental, and then you're using that filter to shape however you want that harmonic movement to be over time. And we're actually in operator ratio. Double click on it because I can show you a little bit better what's going and flowing. But before we do that, so yeah, we're gonna be making some cool sounds, probably some cool polyphonic sound textures with the analog and the drift, while I also explain the subtractive synthesis, because you guys are loving the sound design, loving the synthesis, and overall enjoying life, because, you know, believe it or not, you know, the phoenix, this energy bird of high consciousness is doesn't become the phoenix flying as like a hawk of fire, eagle of fire, phoenix, whatever, unless it gets burnt to the ground. We're shifting in consciousness frequency. I know it looks scary out there, but that's because the old has to crumble for the new to be born. That's why you should get into the cryptocurrency, not financial advice. Look into it, look into the wallets, because the new movement is happening. It's happening everywhere, happening in finance, happening socially, happening multi-dimensionally. People are rising up. People are shifting their consciousness. You already know that. Big ups yourself. And when you learn about the cryptocurrency, then you can take your nice cryptocurrency wallet, you can log on to OpenSea, and you can purchase an NFT from me, your boy. Own my art. Once you own that thumbnail of whatever SDHO, and you own the artwork of whatever SDHO, that's yours, right? Might be a fun thing to do. Oh, I own the artwork for SDHO 70. No one else can. Now, if I do make one where like you can, like there's like for instance, the first SDHO thumbnail or whatever, I minted 25 and they're really cheap. Like then there'll be 25 and then gone. But the majority are gonna be one of ones. I won't get into that jargon anymore, but let's get into subtractive synth. We didn't even go down the list. So operator, it's mostly known as a FM synth, frequency modulation, that's what it stands for. Sampler is a sampler, simpler is a sampler, a simpler sampler, and tension is physical modeling. It is not trying to be a physical modeler that models a electric piano like electric, and it's not trying to be a physical modeler that tries to model a percussion instrument. It tries to model a stringed instrument. Ooh, interesting. And then tritone, that's just like a crazy wacky one. Vector FM, vector grain. that's a very interesting, eccentric, FM capable thing. You don't really need to worry about it. Vector grain, granular synthesis, wavetable is the wavetable synthesis. You already know. So why are we in the operator? Well, and first of all, when I said filtering is the main way that you control the harmonics, the timbre of the sound with subtractive synthesis, just know that you will, especially here in operator, you'll have a filter of its own, because you always want to be able to have a filter, and you will have the same thing also with the wavetable and pretty much anything. You always want a filter, but like subtractive synthesis mainly relies on that filter, or at least in the most subtractive of synthesis-y ways. So how are you doing? How are you flowing? How was your day? We've got about 15 seconds here before we jump into it. How was your day? Tell me about it. I will listen. She said, what? Who? That they were doing what? That's not good. You deserve a lot better than that, okay? You put in the damn hard time, sweat, equity. You deserve more. Really? Okay. It's gonna get better. You got this. You just have to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. And you said, hey mate, I don't like going into me comfort zone, because when I go into, I don't like going out of me comfort zone, because when I do, I get scared. I don't like the unknown. Well, here's the thing. I heard it said, all great change happens in the unknown. You might have to move out of your comfort zone. You must do it if you You're gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. Make sure you have a good version of Ableton, probably a version of It's free, you know. Get it. Now let's get into this, and we're gonna jump into analog and then go into drift. But first, I have to. And by the way, after we make some cool sounds, then I think we're probably gonna make drum beats if we haven't fallen asleep by then. And then we will probably do see if we can lay down a melody on top of all of that rail. Okay. So in operator, because this is how I think I'm going to explain subtractive synthesis before I get into it. In a default operator, you have these little oscillators and they output waveforms. I'm turning these guys off because they're not doing anything anyway. I want to be simple. I'm in shell A, it's turned up all the way. And if you see down here under the wavetable display, it's on design wave. Right, we got all these saw waves, which will be coming back to them later. We got all these square waves, which will be coming back to them later. And then we got some white noise. You always want to have white noise so you can make those really nice ambient white noise sounds and make yourself feel really good and home range bound. You already know. But right now we only got this little sine wave, and someone said, hey mate, you's making me go mental. How you gonna explain this sound design if you haven't already gone and dropped a spectrum up on chair? How do you expect me to learn? I gotta learn about it. Okay, so oh god, I don't like these folders. Last SDHO we grouped them into folders. Let's group them the hell out. When you go into audio effects or whatever, if you don't want them to be in these like folders, if you just right click on any of them and ungroup the group in folder, it's right here, and you go to the spectrum and you drop the spectrum, and you got it, and wonderful. So like right now we're in oscillator A, and right now oscillator A, it says user, but that's because it's a bug. Fix it, Ableton. What the hell? So you got this sine wave. Now see, you've only got this one little guy right here. You only got that one little guy right here. If you go to 16, yeah, it'll just show 16. You can like draw and do this cool stuff. Like, yeah, that was so fun. I can't believe I was able to do that. That was so fun. I'm gonna show you my mom. So like, this is a sine wave. It's just one thing. Wonderful. I want to shift that down. I'm gonna go to the transpose here, and I'm gonna shift it down. Ooh, some bassy. It's just one. But what if we went into here and we drew this? Oh, this is wonderful. It's wonderful. I'm gonna keep doing it. Oh, what if I did that? It's wonderful. Go to Z32, give me some more. Wonderful. We just made a sine wave. Or excuse me, we just made a saw wave, also called a sawtooth wave, which in apparently one of the previous SDHOs, I was like, we gotta start calling it sawtooth wave because I like that sawtooth wave, and you know what I'm saying. So, that sounds horrible, but look at how much we have, right? Sine wave. So I'm playing right now a D note. I'm playing D at 72 hertz, and if I add this shit right here, it's making me go mental. Stop it. I'm still playing D, but you got all of this. Those are the harmonics. All of the harmonics besides this D right here, give it its timbre. Timbre, which when you see it spelled, it looks like it's saying timber. But it ain't. It's saying timbre. Now, in subtractive synthesis, it starts you bright. This is bright. And then you take the filter and look, and you use it to hear that? Look at them move up and down. It's attenuating them. And it uses that to make the sound. And it does that through the filter envelope. So you go into this filter. By the way, when you click around, this little middle part changes. And so you can put a filter envelope, give it some filter frequency, and then you can do things like that. Or you can make the filter open up. So that's the subtractive synthesis technology, methodology. Are you learning about the cosmology, the planets that's moving around? You said, hey Gemini, I already know about that horoscopes, astrology stuff. Me zodiac is Gemini, and I would say, congratulations, you know what your sun sign is. You actually don't know your they call it the zodiac sign you were born under, but that's where the sun was when you were born. So all you really know is your sun sign. You have a moon sign. You have and every other one. There's a thing called the ascendant, which is almost possibly more important than your zodiac sign, believe it or not. We can get into that later when we get into it on the Patreon, something we're going to be creating in the future. Probably soon. I'm just lazy and only really care about doing stuff that I care to do about in the present moment. So what is going on? We're now going to play around with this, and how are you doing? Have you escaped the Matrix yet? And by the way, whenever I say that escape the Matrix stuff, I've been saying that for years. I'm not saying that because a certain public figure, whatever, says that. I'm not up on that, don't care about that, but some say we exist in a energy matrix of the lower third and fourth dimensions, and that we're being controlled by fear. And whenever like a human being feels fear, it like reprograms their mental and emotional states, and it makes them easy to control. And everyone's trying to control us. You already knew that. Oh my God, Gemini, don't go on the don't get the All right, guys, back to the analog. So when we click on shape here, you see we've got the most basic shapes, because like subtractive synthesis, it was sine wave. And by the way, subtractive synthesis was like the first form of like synthesizer synthesis, then got more complex in the very, very late 70s, early 80s with the first FM frequency modulators synthesis, and then it progressed and flourished into other areas, notably wavetable, and then more currently physical modeling synthesis. You already know that, and everything else is kind of similar. In fact, there's also like a vector synthesis, and also granular synthesis, but you already know that, especially like if you knew about that granular synthesis, and if you know all the different granular synthesis devices. We may get there. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the subtractive, and the next time we go to FM, don't quote me on that, we will do whatever, maybe another flip. Oh, hey, Twinkle, she's staring at me saying that Papa's going crazy. He said, Papa going crazy, Papa going crazy. He's good. All right. So you want to start with something bright, sine or square. Excuse me, saw or square. We're going to do square because square sounds a lot better. And if you've got things down here turned down, you can turn them all off. You don't really need them. All you really need is like oscillator 1, otherwise you won't hear shit. You don't need filter, but you will want to use it because we need to use the filter. And then you will want amp, or you won't hear anything. Amp really just means volume. I was about to say a fancy name for volume, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to go there. And depending on your amp, this envelope, if it's not open like that, and it's like, and you're like, hey mate, you was hitting them notes and there's ringing, there's sustaining, I knew that word, but like for me it's not happening, it's making me go mental, it's so short, everyone says I'm so short, what? I'm not actually. Anyway, so you know that, we already know that, we got to go over to it for all this stuff. So look at it, look at all these, let's shift down the octave. Wonderful. Now, that hurts your ears. It doesn't sound very good. And so that's when the filter comes in. A low pass filter. You got other filters. You're going to mostly be on a low pass. Let's cut them out, Ratzil. And if you play it up and down, you're going to get that wonderful whoop that all of you crazy fiends love. Maybe you want some resonance. It just boosts it. So done. We's done. That's it. So what might you want to do? I don't know. Maybe go to the solve. Doesn't sound as good, man. I'm telling you. I always do square waves. This is really who I am, to be honest with you. I got a lot of like voices and rhythms in my head. You just said you got a lot of voices in your head. You might want to go check on that. You might be going mental. First of all, there is no going mental. Whatever, I need to shut up. Let's play. So we got all this. Now I'm going to lower it a lot, this filter. And then since we're in the filter, let's put like a filter envelope on it, okay? So let's take this. I want to go bump, bump, bump. I want to go bump, bump, bump. And give it some of the envelope. Wonderful, wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. I soiled me britches. Britches. I don't even know what they are. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We's done. Actually, not yet. That's all you got to do. Maybe you want to do something different. What if we gave it more of an attack? I don't want an exponential attack. I want a linear attack. Notice how 15-second attack. Brighter and brighter and brighter. That's the filter being opened up. You already knew about that shit. Oh my God, this is getting mental. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Oh my God, I didn't even see it was 5. I'm seeing 5s everywhere. I hate seeing 555. That means transition, transformation. It means life might be getting crazy and mixed up on ya, but that's fine because that means that transition, that transformation, like the phoenix, happens to take you to that firebird phoenix that's flying over the horizon, takes you to that butterfly when you was a caterpillar in your cocoon waiting on the, what do they call it, the metamorphosical cells, tangenial, what do they call it? Oh man, I normally can always figure it out. The word I'm trying to say, whatever, it means you got to move on, and we're going to do it. But before we do, let's go to the audio effects, drop the LFO, and drop it anywhere, does not matter, and click map. And before you do, come into the oscillator one. Oh, not that. That actually might sound crazy. I don't want it. It's too mental. I'm already mental. I don't need more mental. But we're in this tab, and now we've got this, the pulse width modulation. Now check this out when I play this sound, and then I'm going to scroll it up. I'm going to play with the filter. Going to play with the filter. There's too much attack, it's driving me mental. Maybe too much envelope. It's wonderful, 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 wonderful. Adjusting the rate on the LFO. Wonderful. Wonderful. You just learned a little bit more about analog and a little bit more about subtractive synthesis. Now we have the brand new Ableton Live Drift, which if you don't know about, I think it's been around maybe since May, maybe since June, I don't know, but it's also a subtractive synthesizer. It's called Drift because these analog synthesizers, subtractive synthesizers, especially the old ones, they had all of these like electronic voltages, and they would like drift, like the pitch would drift, the voltages in the filter of them would drift. When it did that, it did it in a very pleasing way. And so like this gives you ways to do stuff like that. So let's, so like what do we have right here? These waves, remember I said these waves, they're basically squares and saws and sines, variations of them. You can tweak them a little bit, right? So I want to turn off this oscillator to turn off this noise, even though it's not on because there's no level. And all we have is this. In fact, I'm going to turn it off so nothing comes out. And then I'm going to slowly raise it up. And then I'm going to shift it down over here on the transpose. Wonderful. Move up the oscillator volume. It's for the volume. So I can change the shape of this saw. I don't want to lose the peak of this fundamental ratio. It's a little bit, right? Little dab will do ya. Yeah. Back in the day, like teachers at school would always say, a little dab will do ya. See the shape? What if we put an LFO on that shape right there? Map to the shape. Lower the depth. Now that's way too damn bright, so you take the filter and you turn down the filter and you maybe give it an envelope. You can adjust it here. Give it some noise. I actually think the sound of this sucks. I don't like it. It's gotten too crazy, too mental. Oh, it's because this shape is way too damn high. Whoa. Whoa. I hate when it does that. I really hate when it does that. We gotta move the offset. Fill A. Was the envelope? I think the envelope is actually this number 2, but you have to like route it. I think you have to go to like if we go over here and we go to envelope 1 and we give it an amount, yeah, you have to like route it. See, you wouldn't hear anything because like it's down at like 52 hertz, but if you move it up, what it's effectively doing is it's opening it up and then swoopy dooped. You can give it some LFO. See the LFO moving it up there? I actually don't want that at all. Now look what happens when I do a little bit of pitch modulation right here. I think I'm going to do it on the LFO and I want to see if it does what I think it might do. Just a little bit. Number 1 is, I believe, the volume envelope. So if I take this all the way down, we should hear nothing. So right now, this envelope 1 is doing the volume, and it's also, because we have it right down here, doing the controlling the volume, but I think I don't want that. I'm going to take the envelope 1 to 0 because I only want, oh wait, actually, no, envelope 2. Envelope 2. But I don't want like the volume envelope to do that. Always get some release on there for both of them. That's wonderful. It's wonderful. Let's just drift them out down here. But that would be more appropriate if it actually rang out a little bit longer, which maybe we should do that. Because we're opening up the envelope. Could add a second one in there. Give it some chorus. Wonderful. These are the notes I'm playing right here. So if I take them and I hit the legateur and I hit the play, this is what we get right here. another midi track right here. Let's get the drum rack. And let's go to the drum synth. Let's get some of this drum synth. Let's get the kick drum. Let's click to make the clip. And let's make one on the one. And let's make one right over there. And then let's click on scene launch the clip. Snare on the 2 and the 4. Relaunch. Shift tab. Drop the hi-hat. Draw in the hi-hat on the 16th notes. Duplicate. Duplicate. Go to the 32. Go to the 32. Not that. The duplicate and go back into the how do you say the drum rack. Go to the cymbal. Okay, wonderful. Drop it on the whatever one you want, whatever, and you want to put it right there. We go no. That's not how you say put it over there. You put it over there. Maybe over there. No. You make me go mental. Wait, that didn't sound right. What the hell? Go to the audio effects, drop the compressor, glue compressor. Even better than the regular compressor, especially for them drums. Get that long attack, you've been good. Now, let's do the effect that is the auto filter side chain. Did you ever even know about that? Going to the auto filter, click the drop down, click the side chain, go to the audio from, select the drum rack, and possibly do the post effects, maybe the pre effects. I can never remember, it don't even matter. Now click it down. Now you need the envelope. Push it up. Now you know what auto filter sidechain sounds like. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. I want to move this to a D. You hit this thing up here. It'll remember everything you played.